Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. And lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be your advertising message. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. Now, I have a robust lineup of vintage snowmobile entertainment on tap for us tonight, but before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So, if you can see my face, pardon me, and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time viewing the podcast tonight, I hope you have a good time with us tonight, and I hope you decide to join us here each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be waiting for you with another fun-filled episode. Now, to our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you guys are the ones who make this possible, and we really, really appreciate that. Let's take a few quick comments, and then we'll bring our friends on, and we will get this party started. Let's see, we've got our good friend Armin Buto in the house saying he'll be watching, but he can't get on the chat. Well, I appreciate you being here, and hopefully we can get that resolved. Andrew Strakos is here from Granville, New York. Nice to see you. I think we met out in Tug Hill, 2022 in upstate New York. I'm drawing a blank on the name. It'll come to me. Our good friend John Spranger Jr. is here. He says he got 1.5 inches of snow last night, and it was gone by 9 a.m. God, that's the way it goes this year. This time of year, I should say. Alan Gove is here watching from New Hampshire. Nice to see you. Jim Holbrook is here. Thetford Center, Vermont. Regular viewer says we're coming in loud and clear, and we appreciate your being here tonight. Mike Whiteside says, gents, good evening. Nice to see you. Also, our good friend Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers is here. He's saying good evening to everyone. He's saying we're coming in loud and clear from Mini Bike Central, Northern Vintage Sleds. Now, Ben is also our collaborator that we do the Mini Bike Podcast with the second Sunday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you have good memories of those mini bikes from the 60s and 70s, be sure to tune in right here for that podcast. And again, that's the second Sunday night of every month, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure and tune into that podcast. Also, our good friend Kevin Colhane is in the house, saying loud and clear from Sudbury, Ontario. Nice to see you. Mad Dog is here, foaming at the mouth. He says from Wisconsin, a longtime viewer. Good evening, everyone. Really nice to see you. Our good friends and loyal regular viewers, Stacy and Art Fosler, are here from Plattsburgh, New York. They've been viewing this from the very beginning, and I don't think they've missed an episode. They are as loyal as they come, and we appreciate that. D. Landsberg is here from Wyoming. He's been here a couple of times. Nice to see you. Our good friend Brian Van Haverbeek is here. He was on a few weeks ago. He's saying good evening. Nice to see you. Midnight Rider is here from Northwest Minnesota. Sounds great. Dave Trim is here, regular viewer from beautiful Carthage, New York. Nice to see you. Ken Crozier is here. Says he can hear us from Warwick, New York. Paul Burrell is here from Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. First time listening. We're glad you're here. We appreciate that. I grew up just over the border from you, over the Vermont border in Canaan, Vermont, not too far from you. So it's nice to have you here. We appreciate that. Randy Spur is here from Western New York, regular watcher. Ben Thomas is here, our good friend. He's saying loud and clear from Carterville, New York. Kevin Colhane is here, loud and clear from Sudbury, Ontario. Old Ski-Doo 2 is here. Good evening. Sounds good. Nice to see you. Glenn Ford, our good friend, is here from Vernon Center, New York. Judy Rinaldi is here, the first woman to be inducted into the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame in 2020 is here, and also a very dear friend. Nice to see you, Judy. We're glad you're here. Nolan Pitkin is here, first-time viewer from Nolan. Nolan is his name, watching from Showmont, New York. Nice to see you. Take one more, and then we'll bring our friends on. Nice to have so many people in here tonight. We really appreciate that. Percy Mitchell is here. He says, Benedeem is the king of upstate New York vintage sled videos. I concur. Absolutely. And that's a perfect segue because we're going to bring him on right now. And we'll meet our good friend Eric from the Benedeem YouTube channel. Eric, how are we doing tonight?
Good, Mike. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. And then, of course, we've got our good friend and co-host Rob Hilditch in the house. How you doing, Rob?
Good evening. Doing good.
Cool deal. So the reason we called you all tonight, let me put the graphic up. We're on item number 1. Eric is with the Benedeem YouTube channel. Let me pop the graphic for that. He does a great YouTube channel. We've been collaborating here over the last few months, and we've got it set up that we're putting this podcast is now simulcasting through that channel. And this has worked out nice for everyone. It's a big win for everybody. Eric, do you want to tell us about the channel, how you got started with it, and what you're doing with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, me and my dad were getting into the vintage sleds because we wanted to ride them. We wanted to trail ride them, the same trails that we rode, our modern sleds. We wanted to get some vintage sleds and go riding. Well, my idea was to kind of document that, what we did, and put out high-quality videos because I thought people would really be interested in them. So I went to that first show last year, the Owen Orchard show, my favorite show, and I was just messing with the GoPro and started recording, the show and put out a video, and people seemed to like it. So I kept doing it, and that's kind of how the show walk around videos started, which are, my most popular videos so far. But yeah, basically, I just want to document what we do with these vintage snowmobiles because I think people, I think there's a lot of interest in what we do, and I think it could motivate people to do the same. Because I had no idea that this hobby was as big as it was. I thought we were kind of going to be doing something different and cool, and then come to find out, everybody and their brother has a vintage sled, and they're bringing them to shows and tinkering with them and riding them, and it's just great to see, and it's a great hobby. And that's the whole idea, to just document the hobby.
That's cool. Yeah, and it's a wonderful community for sure.
Absolutely. Met some of the nicest people through vintage snowmobiles.
That's cool. Well, good. That's a perfect segue. Then we're going to take a look at a clip from your YouTube channel, and we're going to tease you with the first 5 or 6 minutes of it. And if you like what you see, you can go right to Eric's channel, the Benedeem YouTube channel, and watch the full video. And it's taken a moment here for this to, well, here we go. Okay, so this is the Cortland, New York show. This is a few minutes, a clip of a video you did of that show. Is there anything about that show we need to know before we look at this clip?
I guess this year that show was record-breaking numbers for that show. There was 122 sleds, I think.
Yeah. And
that venue really doesn't have the room, the capacity to properly display that many sleds. So for next year, there definitely have been talks about what they're going to do to expand it and, show the sleds differently. But yeah, it was a great show this year. It's always a fun show, always has a great vibe, but this year there was just a ton of killer sleds there. It was unbelievable.
Nice. And actually, since you've made that point, I want to put this out to our viewers. I know where I am in northern Vermont and New Hampshire, those are the places I go for shows. And it sounds like where you are in upstate New York and where Rob is in Ontario. It seems like there are more and more vintage snowmobile shows popping up every year, and they're all very well attended. It almost seems like the attendance grows year after year. So I wanted to put that out there to all of our viewers to see where you are. Are you finding that to be the same experience too, whether you're way out west or in the Midwest or here in the Northeast or in Canada? While we're viewing this video, please make a comment and let me know if you're having a similar experience where you are, or if it's on the decline, or whatever it is that's happening for you. We'd love to hear about that. And without further ado, let's take a look here at this clip from the Cortland, New York Vintage Snowmobile Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're all here. I'm here hanging out in the shop, and we're going to talk to you today about the Vintage Snowmobile show that happened in Cortland, New York last Saturday. Hanging out with my friend Yeti. Yeti went to his very first Vintage Snowmobile show last Saturday in Cortland. He asked if he could be in the video, and I said absolutely. Usually I don't do like the intro like this for my walk around videos, but I just wanted to check in with you guys, and since the video is a few days late, just due to my schedule, I've been going every night after work in SUNY Morrisville playing drums for their annual show. So I just wanted to check in with you guys and give you a little bit of an update. And I met Yeti a few years ago. Yeti really likes TNTs. The first snowmobile that he ever rode was a 1974 TNT 440 Free Air. I'll pop a picture up of that. As you can see now, we got him wearing helmets. He didn't like helmets, said it messed up his hair. I don't know. I told him, you're going to ride my snowmobiles, you got to have a helmet on. That's non-negotiable. So we got him with his vintage Skidoo helmet. He rode the 72 TNT on bogies at the show. He told me, he doesn't do much talking, so I'll pretty much just talk for him. He told me that his back was still sore from that ride, so he wanted to ride something a little different. I told him you can ride the 75. It's got a little bit of a better ride. He seems happy with that. A little closer to what he's used to on the Free Air also. But yeah, we're just hanging out, having a good time. The Cortland show is one that we go to every year. We've been to the past 3, and it just seems to get bigger every year. Last year, the weather was a bit of a toss-up whether it was going to rain or be good, so I think that prevented a lot of people from wanting to come out. But this year, record-breaking numbers for that show. 122 sleds, and I believe there's been talk that they're going to have to expand somehow, put sleds out on the grass, or even heard maybe drop the sleds and park out back, so the sleds are all in one area and the parking is in the back. But either way, great show, a lot of great people out there. The person who puts it on, Lee, just a great guy. He's genuine, and he genuinely appreciates everybody that comes out. You're going to see a lot of very good sleds, a lot of very high quality sleds. Just everything there, honestly, was great. Some different stuff that you're probably not used to seeing. As well as the great sleds, you're going to see me riding around on a 1968 Super Olympic with a set of vintage turf skis. Now, you've seen the turf skis on my channel before, but anytime there's a show on pavement, I can't resist. My friend is always gracious enough to let me go for a spin, and people really enjoy seeing it, and it's just a great fun. Not many people can say they've seen a vintage Skidoo riding around on the pavement. So without further ado, I present to you the 2024 Cortland, New York Vintage Snowmobile Show and Swap. Thank you so much. If you're new to my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.
So yes, if you're just joining us, we're viewing some clips right now from the Benedeem YouTube channel, and the creator of that channel is here with us tonight. He's the gentleman in the middle there, Eric, and we've been watching some clips. We're going to be doing that all night long. Rob, did you have any reactions to what we were just looking at there?
Was that done by a pro cam?
It's actually a GoPro.
Oh, you used a GoPro for that?
Yep.
Wow. Pretty good quality.
Pretty remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many king cats at one show as there.
Yeah, they all belong to the same gentleman.
Yeah. And I've
That's
never
his
seen
thing.
the caboose with a leopard seat on it before.
Let me see if I can find that.
Yep,
Yeah, right there. Do you think that was custom made or that was available?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I've not seen one, so I'm gonna go with custom made, but it's cool nonetheless.
Oh, is it ever?
That's the best part of those old cats was the leopard print seat.
Yes.
Yep.
That was cool for sure. And we've got comments aplenty coming in. Let's see what those are looking like here. I think hopefully we'll have some reaction to the question we posed earlier, and also some reaction to these video clips. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Mike Whiteside says, "Awesome hat."
Thank you.
To Eric, he likes the Ski-Doo hat. Nice. And our good friend Dirk Seams is here. He says hello from Ottertail Lake in Minnesota. Nice to see you. Oh, and our good friend Jim Smith is here. He's way out west. And Jim, we have to get you on this season for some more show and tell. I know you've got a nice collection and you're involved with some activities out west. We would love to be in touch with you and try to get you on here in the new year as our guest. Dave Fellows is here, first-time viewer. Nice to see you, Dave. He says he's from Roblin, Ontario. Very cool. Let's see. Our good friend Ben Thomas is here. He says, Eric is such a card, just like his mother. Now, of course, Ben is Eric's father. So, very cool. And then a good friend to all of us, including Eric and Rob and I. Rich Shad is in the house saying good evening to everyone from Cleveland, New York, heading home from work. Cool deal. And then Ben Thomas says the quality and variety of sleds at this show were truly amazing. 4 king cats. When do you ever see that many at once at a local show? True.
Yeah, our cat was the feature of that show, I believe.
Oh, nice, yeah. And then Mike Whiteside says, sweet, I'm definitely going to subscribe. Yeah, subscribe to his channel, definitely.
Awesome, appreciate that.
Yes. And Ivan Mayo is here, says, love that Formula 2 cat. Yes. And that's actually a good segue also. We're here to promote Eric's YouTube channel. It's called the Benedeem YouTube channel. If you like what you've been seeing, there's a link to it in the description. We've been collaborating with Eric here for the last few months. His YouTube channel is one of the places where this podcast goes out to every week. And it's been a big win for all of us to do that. Good for him, good for us, and good for the viewers. So if you like what we've been looking at, what we're looking at now, and will continue to look at through the evening, please patronize his channel and subscribe and check out some of the videos. We're also teasing you a bit. We're only showing you 5 minutes of each video. So if you like what you're seeing, you can go watch the full length video on his channel. So we're kind of teasing you with that so you can try to entice you to go check out his channel. So let's see. We are on item number 2. We're about to do some announcements in Amsoil. Then we're going to go right back into some more video clips. Rob, if you're ready, we're going to put you full screen. And Rob's going to talk to us about Amsoil.
I'm ready. Since 1972, Amsoil came out with a 2-cycle oil that you pre-mix, and it came out at 100-to-1. It doesn't matter if you have a John Deere or a Ski-Doo or an Arctic Cat, what kind of snowmobile it is, everything runs at 100-to-1 with Amsoil. The film strength of our oil is stronger than the other ones on the market. All the other companies said, you guys are going to be sued. You can't come out with 100-to-1. And we still have the same oil available as we did back in 1972. So it doesn't matter what brand of snowmobile you have, you can have 1 gas can with Amsoil at 100-to-1. I have a cottage up north. I got a 200 Black Max. I got the 50 on the pontoon boat, the 99 for the fishing. I got the stringer machines and the chainsaws. 1 gas can with 2-cycle oil for everything. It's handy and it gives you better protection, make the engine last longer. For the trail riding, we have the Interceptor. Back here. Interceptor for the trail riding. So it doesn't matter if you've got a Ski-Doo, Players, or an Arctic Cat, the Interceptor works in all of them. Amsoil came out with a new slogan last year. We specialized oil for specialized machines. So our one product meets all the manufacturer qualifications. Now this month, if you order Amsoil, they're giving you a free product. If you order $75 worth, they're giving you a free product, a top lube. Top lube is added to the gas for the car for older type engines. And that way it helps, gives you more, bring back the compression you used to have. It's like a lubricant for the top of the cylinders. Every time I pull a trailer, I add a can of top lube to my vehicle. Gives me more horsepower and more performance. Now, if you want more information about the Amsoil, you can click on to Mike's site, and there's a catalog you can click. And in the catalog has the prices, all the products, everything you want to know about the product. So if you want to know how to get the best possible discount with Amsoil, you can sign up for $10, become a preferred customer, save 25% on all the products you order. So the best possible way to buy the Amsoil is become a preferred customer. So for more information on how to get the best possible discount, click on Mike's link that he has down below.
Definitely. And when you do that, you're helping to support this podcast. And we really appreciate that for the people who have been ordering it through us. And also, if you're considering doing that, we really appreciate that. All you have to do to help support the podcast is click the link in the description or use my referral number. And I'm signed up as a dealer under Rob. So when you order under me or order through me, Rob and I both benefit. And this is the way we pay the bills here at the podcast. So thank you to everyone. We appreciate that. And another announcement I was going to make real quick. If you enjoy these old logos from back in the day, in the heydays of vintage snowmobiles, you can have these logos printed on a t-shirt, a hoodie, a mug, a sticker, magnets, the whole host of things you can get these printed on. There's a link in the description if you'd like to explore that. And again, same idea. When you order one of these shirts or mugs or what have you, we get a small commission here at the podcast, and it helps to defray the cost of doing it. So we really, really appreciate that. So we're back into the podcast now. We're going to continue looking at some more clips. We're just getting started. If you like what you were looking at a few minutes ago, there's a whole lot more to come. Let me take a comment real quick. Martin Howard is here from Tug Hill, and he loves this podcast. We thank you for that. Appreciate that. Cool deal. So, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find my place here. So the next clip we've got is going to be from the Crooked Ski Vintage Snowmobile Show. Anything about that we need to know, Eric, before we roll that clip?
Another great small show. This is my first year attending that one. I had seen the posts on Facebook from previous years, and I'd always been on the fence about going to it. I'm like, darn, I should have went to that show. It looks great. And I finally went, and it did not disappoint. It was, another show. They said, I think 120 something sleds.
Yeah,
pretty good. It started raining, so my walkthrough video is kind of a little quicker pace than usual, just because I was trying to get all the sleds in it before they, retreated back to the trailers. But the rain didn't stay long, and everyone stayed, and we had a great time like always.
Nice. Well, cool. Let's take a look at that. And it's taking a moment to load here. We need to invest in some Jeopardy music for sure. And I'm hesitant to click it twice, because sometimes if I click it twice, I'll crash the browser. And if I crash the browser, we're really in trouble. So the best thing is just to wait it out.
Eric, like that Amsoil poster in your shop.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that machine beside the silver bullet you were sitting on? A 68 Skidoo? 64?
65.
65?
Yep.
And that's running?
Nope, that one's a project.
Okay. I think we're ready to go.
We are. Yeah, I'm going to roll it. Let's take a look. So yes, we are back, and if you're just joining us, we've been watching some footage from the Crooked Ski Vintage Snowmobile Show, and these are clips from the Benedeem YouTube channel. The gentleman who runs that YouTube channel is in the center there, Eric Benedetto. So we want to thank him for sharing these video clips with us. We've got plenty more to look at, so don't go anywhere. Also, we're just airing the first 5 minutes of these videos, so if you like what you see and you want to see the rest of the video, just go to his YouTube channel. It's called, let me find the graphic here. It's called the Benedeem YouTube channel. There is a link to it in the description. Please patronize his channel, subscribe, browse the videos. There's a lot there to see. So if you like vintage snowmobiles, as we all do, it's a wonderful channel for that. Rob, anything catch your eye in this video?
Yeah, I like the way they have like that RUP truck. And a lot
Yes.
of people had clothing with
That
them.
was really cool.
But coming up next, you got a silver one right there. Is that a seahorse?
I think it's a Johnson, isn't it?
And is one beside a same?
Skedaddler, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking AMF for that orange one.
I think
Oh,
they both are. Yep.
Yeah, those are nice. Those are in amazing shape.
Yeah,
Look at the
that,
size of motor in that thing.
that engine's unique for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite a good collection and nice quality stuff they had down there.
Yeah, this point in the video right here was when I really started to drizzle pretty good, so I started to scoot around pretty good to get the rest of the sleds in.
Yeah.
This collection of Polaris right here actually won best group or best display or whatever the trophy was.
Nice.
Good mix of old Polaris sleds for sure.
Yep.
Definitely. The little TXs and Chargers and stuff. And I like that Scorpion Sidewinder. Let me go back a little bit. Those are rare to see. I like seeing those.
Yeah.
And the other Scorpions are nice too. And there was something I saw right here. This kitty cat with the kitty cat trailer. Now, was that, or the cutter, is that something that Cat did, or is that a custom job that somebody, do we know anything about that?
He custom built it.
That is nice, though. That's a great tribute.
For sure.
And is that a real kitty cat hood he used to make that, or is that?
Oh yeah.
As someone who enjoys cats, that really made my heart go pitter patter to see that.
Yeah.
And also, our good friend Brian Van Haverbeek is watching tonight. He's a big kitty cat fan, so I bet his heart is going pitter patter as well. And then,
how long is your video for that show?
Oh, not even sure. 10 minutes probably.
Yeah.
I can look it
yeah,
up.
and this is just half of it. And this is that Rupp decal.
Yeah, there was a good mix of sleds there. There was a lot of skidoos, which made my heart happy. There was a bunch of mini bikes. There was a bunch of old vintage 3-wheelers that were later on in the video. Just a really, really good mix of different stuff.
For sure. And this is just the first 5 minutes of it.
Yep,
So
that was
that's
10 minutes and 40 seconds, that video.
Yeah.
Ben, do you ever go to a show where they're riding them?
Yeah, when we have snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been kind of the bottleneck lately. My first year we got into it, it seemed like just about every show had snow we could ride, and then the next year it was nothing. So I have high hopes for this winter. We're due for a good one. I'm predicting, I'll say here first, a white Christmas, and we're going to have a good riding year. You're going to see a lot of riding videos on my channel.
Nice. Now we've got tons of comments coming in. Let's see, where's my place here? Okay, I think this is where we left off. Tug Hill loves this podcast. That was Martin Howard. John Spranger Jr. says, I like the blizzard in the last clip. Dirk Seamus says, looking at all those old white Yamaha sleds, were they all oil injected right from the start? That's a good question. Does anyone know that? Were they ever premixed, or was it always injected?
Ever
I'm
since
not
I remember
sure.
your oil injection.
Always injected. Nice. And then Ben Thomas says, we are blessed here in New York to have many vintage shows which are supported and attended by many of the same people from around the state, including other surrounding states. And it looks like that Rupp truck was a winner. Dirk Seams says he likes that too, and I know I appreciated that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's nice when they do something different.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll see that where there's an old classic truck with a sled on display in the back, and I always try to get a shot of it.
Yes. And then Midnight Rider says, never seen a kitty cat cutter. Very cool. Definitely. Oh, and then Reese Fleury is talking about those AMF sleds that we were talking about.
Yep.
And that caught a lot of people's eye as well. The Skedaddler, the AMF Skedaddler. D. Lansford is commenting on that. Reese Fleury says both of those were AMFs. Ben Thomas says opposed twin on that AMF, the one that big engine. Let me see if I can find that real quick, because that was, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that. I think it's right. Yes,
Yep.
right there.
Yeah.
So that was an opposed twin. Wow, that's a beast in there. And then Steve Woodward is giving us a thumbs up. Nice to see you on that. Appreciate it. Stacy and Art Fosler say the skis on the old Ski-Doo with the wheels on it. He says he's wondering if that's fabricated or if that's something that you bought.
So that's an aftermarket, I guess, accessory you call it. Company out of Vermont called Turf Skis made. Which, not to spoil, the rest of the podcast, but we'll actually touch on those at the end.
Yes. We should think about maybe bringing them on the podcast sometime. Are those strictly for vintage sleds or modern too? Or
yeah, they're made for vintage sleds. They you unpin the skis and the leaf springs bolt right to it. There's different holes for different adjustments. They're kind of universal, but yeah, they were designed for leaf spring sleds.
nice. Yeah, I'd like to get them on the podcast for a deep dive on that. And then Reese Fleury's talking about the J-Lo. Is he talking about maybe this engine, or was there something else that he caught his eye? And then Mike Whiteside says, look at that Blizzard, sweet. And Yang, LOL. Oh, Brian Van Haverbeek. I think he's reacting to that kitty cat with the trailer, with the cutter, the mini cutter. Right. Oops, I just passed it. It's hard to stop where I want to with this thing. All right. And then here we go. An answer about the Yamaha sleds. Reese Fleury is saying they're all injected since 1968. Cool deal. Yeah, thank you for the information on that. All right, so let's pull this video down. And there we go. Now we've got another clip to look at. Just trying to find my place here. Okay, this next one is from Tug Hill, 2024. Anything about this one we should know, Eric?
So this is the ride video, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so that show, which you're not going to see in this video, but that show was the location for the annual Boa Ski Brotherhood. I think there was about 50 or 60 Boa Ski sleds there.
Yeah.
Plus another 100 plus regular show sleds. It was absolutely incredible. I unfortunately didn't get to video all the sleds, but it was incredible. There was just sleds everywhere. But as part of that show, they always do a vintage ride. The trail rides right into that restaurant, the Tug Hill Hideaway. That's what the restaurant's called. So you get sled traffic all day, spectators looking, and then they do a organized group ride on the vintage sleds. We, meaning me, my dad, and Rich, we were in having lunch when the ride took off. So we came out and about half the sleds were gone, and we were like, "Oh shoot!" So we just kind of went on our own ride with friend Jeff, who was there as well, and who has a RUP, which is pretty cool. But so you're going to see us. We're at the checkpoint. We're turning around and coming back to the restaurant. And I think it was just, I kind of was first time with the GoPro out on a ride. I kind of had changed some settings, figured some stuff out. I was getting more comfortable on my sled because that was the first ride that it had been on. And the trails were rough, but we had a good time.
Nice. Let's take a look.
Welcome back to my channel, everybody. That's what you do on a cold, rainy October day. You come to the Skidoo shop and you fool around, have a little bit of fun. Today I present to you part 2 of the Tug Hill Hideaway ride. Sit back and enjoy. Thank you. everybody's having a great day today. This is going to be part 2 of the Tug Hill Hideaway ride. If you haven't seen part 1, I encourage you to check out my channel and go watch that first. I just want to point out a couple things and then I'll get you to the riding footage. I would definitely say that the pace was a little bit quicker on the way back. I think that's just because I was getting more comfortable on the sled. And the biggest reason was at the halfway mark, you'll probably see in some of the video that there's a bungee strap holding the hood down. So that was helpful, not having that bounce around and having to readjust that every 5 seconds. Towards the end, you're really going to see me kind of pick up the pace. There's a stretch through the field once I turn left past the Christmas trees. Wasn't really flat out, but I was definitely scooting along pretty good. I think just being so close to the end of the ride, I wasn't worried if there was going to be a breakdown or mechanical issue. It'd be easy enough to get back to the restaurant. Because remember, this was the very first ride that I had taken the Red Devil on. I really hope you enjoy the video. It was a lot of fun to make this one, and I appreciate all you guys watching. Please like the video, comment, if you were there on that same ride, or if you have similar stories from this winter. I know it wasn't a good winter for riding, but we got in what we could. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Enjoy the footage.
So yeah, we're viewing video clips from the Benedeem YouTube channel. This was just the first few minutes. If you want to see the entire video, be sure to visit his channel. There's a link to it in the description. When I say his channel, I'm talking about the gentleman in the middle here, Eric Benedetto. And any comments about the channel? I know that a lot of people maybe who are joining us now that weren't here at the beginning. You want to give a quick synopsis of your channel real quick?
Yeah, so basically right now it's any and everything to do with vintage snowmobiles, more specifically skidoos, because that's what me and my dad like. But I go to a lot of local shows and do walk around videos, and then when there's snow, I do riding videos.
Nice. It's a lot of fun. He's doing a great channel. So if you like vintage snowmobiles, as we all do, definitely worth subscribing to his channel. There is a link to it in the description. You can also search for Benedeem on YouTube, and it'll come up. And we've got some comments that have come up.
Do a video of a restoration of one?
I have done some videos of me working in the shop. That's not really my goal to do like how-to videos, but yeah, I've got right now. I started a video series on my 1971 TNT. It's not a restoration, more of a resurrection. But yeah, just kind of showing what I do in the shop and kind of documenting the progress a little bit. It's not as in depth as some of the other videos you see out there, but just like to kind of give a little glimpse of what we do.
Well, it looks like you have more fun riding, anyways.
Absolutely. I'm definitely more of a rider. The wrenching in the shop isn't bad, but it's more just collateral damage and a necessity.
Nice.
Because that's what they say. I wasn't around when these sleds were new, but even from the beginning, they said, you wrench on them all day for a 10-minute ride.
It's true. It's true.
My dad used to take the seat off and put a box underneath where we can carry enough tools.
Yeah. I definitely remember.
Wheels.
Yeah, I remember working on our Articat links, all day, and then, finally getting to ride it. And it was always at dark when you do the first fire up, and so we did a lot of night riding.
Nice. And there's a question I always try to ask people who, people from the younger generation who are interested in vintage snowmobiles, because I know people like us who were there back in the day. It's about the memories, and it's nice to see younger people who are interested in this. But I always try to ask them, what is it about the vintage snowmobile experience that captures your imagination?
Well, I guess for me, I started riding on a vintage sled. My family had a pair of Articat Lynxes, and we still have them. One of them was wrecked, unfortunately, but that's how I got my start to snowmobiling, back in the probably late 90s, and kind of went dormant for a while, and we got some modern sleds, and we were riding in our favorite trail system, Winona Forest, and just, me and my dad were like, this would be so cool to have that Articat Lynx out on these trails. It would be perfect. And that's what kind of got the wheels turning. Even though we had Articats, we were kind of, low-key skidoo people, and that's kind of what we've, focused our collection on.
Nice. And speaking of skidoo, your dad is making a comment here. He says, we do have loads of fun at the skidoo ski shop. Nice. And he also says, I don't remember the trails being rough that day.
Yeah, we like to rag on my dad a little bit because his favorite snowmobile to ride on the vintage rides is a 1997 Scandic. Not very vintage, and a far cry from the bogey wheels and that the rest of us were riding.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly like Rich said. Yeah.
Yes, because he was there, I think, right?
Yep, he was there on that ride. Yep.
So. Nice. And Carl Kalk says, interesting. Ski Dudes Plymouth, New York says, we need to see way more Alpines. Yeah, for sure. We should do more of that on the channel. Kevin Colhane says, just subscribed. Can't wait to watch them all. Outstanding. Thank you for doing that. Totally. Yeah, we appreciate you doing that. And anyone else who's viewing, please use the link in the description. Subscribe to Eric's channel. He does a wonderful vintage snowmobile channel on YouTube.
Eric, have you ever drove an Alpine?
Yeah, we have several, 3, 4 actually.
I've only been towed home by one.
Yeah, we have one that we use to groom the trails. One, a 1970 that we bought with the intention of grooming the trails, and then we get it home and we're like, oh, this is way too nice. So it's more just a toy we putz around with. But my dad actually has taken it on a few vintage rides. It's, people like to rag on the Alpines because they don't steer. My feelings are none of those sleds, steered very well in those days. And, a little bit of some creative riding, you can get an Alpine to steer.
Yeah.
I could watch my channel. You'll see plenty of video of me running around on an Alpine.
Nice. And then we were talking about the box under the seat earlier. Stacy and Art Fosler talking about a friend of his who built a box under his seat that held a case of beer and a bottle of liquor.
We had wineskins.
Nice. And I know back in the day, a lot of the ice anglers used to do that box under the seat as well. You could put all your tip ups in there and all your stuff and get out there and get out on the ice and do your fishing. That was very popular among them. Mike Whiteside says, I did too. And then Ben Thomas says, oh, yes, Alpines are the bomb. Nice. Well, cool. So I'm going to pull this away, and we've got another clip to look at. Just get situated here. So the next clip is from Tupper Lake, the 2024 Tupper Lake show. Anything to comment on this before we view it? Or?
Yeah, so actually there was 2 Alpines at that show, which kind of ties into what we were just talking about. They were there listed for sale, but they were there. This show, unfortunately, was the last of the Tupper Lake shows. The club had decided, just due to lack of attendance, it wasn't something that they could realistically do every year. We first went to the Tupper Lake show when we first met Reese because we bought their old Scandic. We bought a Scandic and a drag from them, and that's kind of, we went up there. We brought, we actually brought my 72 TNT with the caboose. We brought 2 trailers though because we were coming back home with the Scandic and the drag. So that's kind of how we met Reese, and we've gone every year because it's just another one of those great shows that has a great vibe, and the people that go just are there for all the right reasons.
Nice.
So,
cool. Let's take a look. So yes, we're looking at video clips from the Benedeem YouTube channel, and the creator of that channel is here with us tonight, right in the center, Eric Benedetto. And yeah, we're looking at some great video clips here. Rob, was there anything that caught your eye at this one?
There was a lot of unique machines there that's not very common. Eric,
For sure.
which one was it there that you brought home?
No, yeah, that was from a couple years ago.
Oh,
I just had the 65 and the Red Devil there. But yeah, you're not wrong. A lot of
and there's a really neat wheel kit that I've never seen
Yeah.
that style wheel kit before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that caught my eye.
Yeah, kind of custom rims.
yeah, that's fun. I've got a clip of that running around at one of the shows from this summer.
I like those flames too. Is that really on fire?
That sled came out really nice. He's really proud of that one. Dave Trim, who's watching tonight, between him and Robin with the Vikings, that was about half the sleds there.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That is an impressive
Good
flame
selection
job
of
right there.
Vikings.
Yeah, Dave has every single one of my favorite snowmobiles. So that's
Right.
kind of how we met, because he likes TNTs and his wife likes silver bullets, and that's my bread and butter.
Yes. Oh, and then this rescue sled. There's one of these at the Crane Snowmobile Museum.
That
That's
actually
every one.
came from Clayton, New York Fire Department, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
So
he
what
did-
was the history with this? Did they use these at ski areas or something? Or
I couldn't tell you, to be honest. It's
Sure.
a unique piece. I've never seen one before until this year when he started bringing this one to the shows.
Yeah.
And then he started with a Polaris sled there and kind of made it into a custom, rescue sled.
and is that a red light on the front of that above the the
Yeah.
headlight?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
hmm
Very
I
cool.
I keep telling him he needs to add a siren.
Yes.
Really nice Nordic there.
Yeah.
I love that Motoski Futura and the Everest pair
Yeah.
right there. Those sleds were just so ugly they weren't.
Yes.
I would take one of those all day in a heartbeat.
They were fun in deep snow. They were
Yeah.
nice and light.
Nice handling sleds. Yeah. Good trail rider.
Yeah.
My neighbor's father had one when we were kids. I had a chance to ride it once briefly, and I was impressed.
Yeah, and those are the 444 liquid cooled version.
Nice.
That black dot you just passed, that was the best in show, I believe.
Yeah. Nice.
And then of course,
What year is that one? 68.
69 or 70, I believe.
Nice. Now we've got some comments that have come in. Let's see, where were we? Oh, here we go. Dave Trim says the Tupper is and was a great show, great people, great area. Yeah, it is a bummer that they phased that out.
The thing about that show is people traveled. I mean, Tupper Lake is way up in northern New York, but people traveled all the way out from Buffalo area to get there.
Wow.
That kind of just shows you the following that this show has, and that the following that Reese has, honestly.
Yeah, good point. Good point. And then to Dave Trim, we would love to have you on the show sometime. If you have sleds to show or do any kind of custom work or paint or anything like that, we'd like to have a closer look at that at some time on the podcast. Please reach out to us if you'd like to come on some night and do some show of what you do. And Mike Whiteside is here, says, phantasmagorical show tonight. Thank you, guys. We'll appreciate that. And Ben Thomas says, a bunch of awesome sleds were at the Tupper show. The Dave Trim and Robin Steele collections always stand out. Yes. Midnight Rider says, someone represented Viking at that show. Very nice. Our good friend Jeff Wesner, who was on here a week or two ago, says, great show. Randy Spur says, why do people put their sleds up on milk crates? I kind of like it. It kind of sets it up so you can see underneath. And
Just a way to display it.
sure.
Stops the kids from jumping on them.
True. Oh, and yeah, Ben Thomas says the milk crates elevate the sled, make it closer to eye level. And he's talking about the 70 Black Dot 340 owned by Tom Church, and yes, best of show. And Ken Crozier says the Rescue Polaris used to be mine. Got it from Dan Clem at the Snowmobile Barn years ago and sold it to my brother-in-law, Bill Blunden, and he customized it. Cool. Yeah. Thank you for the story on that.
Nice history.
Yes. All right. So let's remove this. We've got 2 more to look at here. So the next one is getting your 72 TNT ready. Let's take a look at that. And yeah, here it is right here.
Welcome back to my channel, everybody. You'll see I'm back in the shop. I've been working on these parts here, breaking these down. But I'm actually going to shift gears here. Let me take you to the other end of the shop. I am actually going to be working on today this sled. So, if you like 72 TNTs, stay tuned, see what I got going on. Okay, so this sled, you probably all recognize it. It is the sled that became my YouTube logo for my channel. It's definitely one of my favorites. It's a very clean example of an unrestored sled. When I was getting the Red Devil ready, unfortunately had to borrow some parts from that to get that going. Don't like to do that, but you know, the night before a scheduled ride, if you need parts, you need parts. So the plan today, take a break from this and this pile of parts, and actually start, you know, replacing the stuff I took. It's, you know, not a big deal. Just a couple little things, get that running again, and the plan is to actually take that to the upcoming show this coming Saturday in Cortland, New York. I was hoping to have that at the show, but just have way too much work to do on it and hardly any time to get it done, which I'm sure anyone who has a vintage collection can relate to that statement wholeheartedly. Okay, so I'm under the hood of the 72 TNT. One of the things I got to work on here is the tank pickup. I just took that out for the Red Devil to get that up and running. And then the tie rod is broken, and actually that steering arm is bent, so I'll probably address that now too. If I have to borrow parts off another one, that's fine. Plenty of projects around here to do so. Now I just want to talk about the tank pickup here a little bit. I'm not going to do how-to videos, but this is important, so I just want to talk about this. On this sled, it's just 2 lines. You know, 1 line for the inlet of the carburetor and 1 return. The most important thing, you see how one's longer than the other? You want your return line about 3 inches shorter than the pickup line, and that is because, you know, when the fuel returns, it's not going to be a steady flow of fuel. There's going to be bubbles and air pockets. You can't have any of those air bubbles being picked up and drawn into the carb because it will affect how the engine runs. And then all I did was just put some steel line at the end, about 3 inches to weigh each line down. So I'm going to go get that installed. The nice thing is I already put new fuel lines on this sled, so all that should be ready to go. Just screw it into the tank, hook the lines up, and we'll be good to go as far as that is concerned. All right, I'm into the other shop here. You can see we have another 72 TNT 440. I actually picked this one up alongside that sled. We have another 72 340 TNT. This one we've had for a while. My brother started doing a restoration on it and just never got around to finishing it. That will be the topic for some upcoming videos, I hope. I'd really like to get this sled out on the snow. This is the reason I like these sleds so much. Just seeing this as a kid, it was the coolest thing ever. On the other side there, you see the Arctic Cat Lynx. That's the first sled I ever rode. Hope to get that out on the snow again. But for now, we're just going to borrow some parts on this sled. Parts look good over there, so let me get to work. So this is the steering arm that I just pulled off the sled. It's pretty bent. That's supposed to be straight. I don't know if I've ever seen one quite this bent. Assuming whatever they hit is the reason why that tie rod was broken, because they hit something hard, I'm guessing, with that ski. Probably trying to steer or whatnot and caught a stump or a tree or something on the trail. So I'm going to try and straighten that out, and I'll bring it back once that's done. Thanks. Okay, so I got that straightened. Not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. That'll work just nice. And then I also grabbed another tie rod off the other sled, so I'm going to get those installed. And we are going to be darn close to doing a startup on this sled. As you can see, I've got the sled outside. It's a beautiful day. I figured do the first fire outside. It has not ran since probably January, since I robbed the parts. So I've got the air box off so I can prime it, and we'll see what it does.
Very cool. Nice to see that running. Well, cool. Any reactions to that, Rob? Or?
Once you got the line in the fuel, it started pretty good. But you took that tie rod off. You think somebody hit something. Wasn't that your machine? You took the tie rod off?
Yeah, so when I picked that up, it was kind of always a little loose and wonky.
That's so you didn't hit something.
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten to ride that sled too much. It started and ran, but it doesn't run very good. It certainly doesn't run anywhere near where it should. So the plan is to take that motor down and just freshen it up. But yeah, I had it out earlier this year, and I was actually I picked the back end up to rotate it around, and that was enough to finish that tie rod. So it's been sitting in the shop ever since that. And then, I robbed the parts off to get the other sled running, the night before that Tug Hill Hideaway ride. So I just wanted to get it back into running condition because it's one I like taking to the shows because it's, a really nice sled. And then, obviously like I sled, it's, the sled that became my YouTube logo.
It is a good looking sled.
Yes.
Thank you.
Definitely. And if you ever get that cat going, we would love to see something on that.
Yeah, that is definitely the plan for someday. Get that one going, and then its sister sled, which is in the other building, which unfortunately got wrecked. I don't know, late 90s or whenever it was, but I never rode the other one. I only rode this one.
What's in that one that links?
292 single.
Yeah.
But,
nice.
Yep, that's the start of my vintage snowmobiling. Like I said,
cool.
back in the 90s.
Yeah. And then Kevin Colhane saying, wow, nice shop, would kill for that. Great show, everyone, and we appreciate that. Percy Mitchell is here saying those Arctic Cat registration decals look good on that Ski-Doo. Yes, so that purple, the purple and black. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, there it was. Right there on the side, yeah. I remember those from back in the day. Oh, and then Mad Dog says, some real nice sleds tonight. Good stuff. Nice show, and thank you. Yeah, thank you for viewing. We've got one more clip. I'm kind of moving along quickly here. Let me get it pulled up. So this last one is an installation of those turf skis. Quick comment on this, Eric, before you take a look? Or?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny watching all these clips with you tonight that I've done. Just about every one of them had a shot of the turf skis. So after the Cortland show, I scoured the internet trying to find a set for sale, and I finally did on the Vintage Arctic Cat site or Facebook group. Actually, made a deal and got them shipped to my house. And here's what I did with them and the fun times that I had with them.
Excellent. Let's take a look.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm here in the shop. Got another fun episode planned for you, and it starts with 2 words: turf skis. So yes, I found a set of turf skis. You have seen them on my channel. I was first introduced to them at the Clayton show this year, and then I have since ridden them a couple other times. But yeah, let's go check them out. So these were an aftermarket accessory, I guess you'd call them, that you could get. So you could ride your snowmobile all year round. I don't really know a lot about them, other than here the sticker says they were made in Vermont. But yeah, basically you'd take your skis off, put these in place. They would, bolt in the same way using the pins. A couple different adjustments. These were universal, so they fit a lot of different sleds. And basically they just have the bottoms got these rollers. And yeah, you could ride your snowmobile all year round. So as far as turf skis, I don't really think they're that practical. Super duper fun, more of a novelty though. You can't really, get any kind of serious riding in on these sleds, in warmer temps. That's just, they'll run hot. It's not made for it. I think also manufacturer switching to slide rail probably killed these. They're a great idea, get the consumers out riding their snowmobiles all year round, especially, on winters like we've been seeing where you don't really get to ride them much. So after I had gotten the chance to ride around at the Cortland show on my friend's 68 Super Olympic with turf skis, I made it my goal, my mission in life to find a set of turf skis of my own. I scoured the internet, came across a couple old listings. They were already sold, or the listing was deleted. And then eventually I came across a post. It was actually on the Vintage Articat page, I believe, and it had some other stuff listed, and there was a set of turf skis. So I reached out, and sure enough, he still had them, and eventually, reached a deal and got them shipped here. Overall, it's a novelty, like I said, for guys like us that go to the shows a lot, a lot of times are on pavement. These work very good on pavement. A couple people have said, I can do the bridge crossing now, the Mackinac Bridge crossing, which don't know that I would ever do, but super fun novelty. I'm excited to have them. I think they're going to really add a lot to the collection and be able to, enjoy the sleds a lot more when we're, at the summer shows sitting around talking about riding the sleds. Well, now I'll actually be able to ride. So I believe this style that I have is the earlier style. There was another style that instead of the ski loop, instead of the roller on the front, it had a traditional ski loop and just had rollers on the bottom. I've not seen a set like that before. But yeah, this set, see, it's got rollers basically like same material as like a skateboard roller or roller on a mower deck. Flat surface there. These are in very good condition. You can see they've been used, but they don't look like they've been used a whole awful lot. So the plan for today, we are going to throw them on the 1965 Olympic. You've all seen that on the channel. That might as well call that old reliable. That's the oldest sled that we have currently, and it's probably the most reliable. So we're gonna throw the skis on real quick and head out to the field and get some video, hopefully doing some laps. Now as far as the 71, I know I've been slow to upload part 3. I think that's what we're up to now, part 3. Got a pile of parts here broken down. Just got to find some time to sandblast and get that stuff cleaned up and painted so I can get the new drivers on. Hopefully with Thanksgiving come up in a long weekend, I'll be able to spare some time and get that done so I can have some more content on the 71 project. Thank you. I'm going to go get the 65 out of the trailer and get to work. What I tell you about the 65 being old reliable. 3 poles, not bad. It'll sit here and run like this all day long. Really a phenomenal sled that we're super proud to own. So I'm gonna set the camera up and
get those keys changed out. Hopefully it's entertaining for you, and hopefully you have a lot of fun together.
So yeah, if you want to see the rest of that video, go to his YouTube channel. Link in the description. We're kind of leaving you hanging here, but yeah, we only have 5 minutes for each clip. But yeah, the link in the description. There's a link in the description to the Benedeem YouTube channel. A lot of great vintage snowmobile videos there, and we have the creator of that channel here with us tonight. He's been our guest all night. That's Eric, and we appreciate you coming on. We've got a few quick comments, then we're going to close out the show here. We've got our good friend Armand Buto in the house saying, great show tonight. He finally was able to get on through his cell phone. Glad to hear that. Our good friend Reese Fleury is here saying, thanks, guys, for a great show. Our dear friend John Spranger Jr. is here. Thank you for another awesome show. Appreciate your being here. Rich Shad is here, says, great job tonight, Eric. We have plenty more videos to make. Definitely. Keep them coming for sure. Ben Thomas says, awesome show, fellas. Great job with the videos, Eric. Highly recommend the Benedeem YouTube channel to everyone. Stacy and Art Fosler say, neat for summer shows, talking about those turf skis. Midnight Rider says, another excellent show, guys. Hats off. Thank you so much. Dave Trim is here. He says, great show. Enjoyed it. I'm glad you were here. And let me switch screens here, and I'm going to pop this on the screen one last time. Giving some love to the Benedeem YouTube channel. There's a link in the description. We've been looking at clips from that channel all night, and on these clips we've only been looking at the first 5 minutes or so, just to kind of tease you. So if you want to see the rest of the video, take the link to the channel for the all of the full-length videos. Be sure to subscribe to that channel. And also, Eric and I are collaborating in that the podcast is now simulcasting out to that channel. It's one of the 8 places we simulcast this podcast to. And any final thoughts, Eric, before we wind it down?
Yeah, so if you haven't watched that video, the whole video of the turf skis, I highly recommend it, because me and Rich had a fun time filming that, riding around. And actually, you'll see some drone footage. I just got a drone, so it was an awesome. It's one of my best videos to date, I think. But I really, really appreciate you having me on, Mike, and I appreciate what you do in general for the hobby. You bring a lot of people together. So I thank you for that.
Sure. Appreciate the compliment for sure. And Rob, any final thoughts before we close it out?
Eric, at the beginning of your show, there's a green vehicle. Is that an Alpine also?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Never seen a green one, but.
Yep, that was customized for a local club.
Yeah. Like your videos. Great job you do, Eric.
I appreciate it, Rob. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, keep it up, Eric. And yeah, as always, the last word goes to Amsoil. Thank you to everyone for viewing, and for Eric and for Rob for being here. We really appreciate it. And as always, the last word goes out to Amsoil. Have a good evening, everyone. Oh, no episode the next 2 weeks. We're going to do replays coming back on December. Let me get the calendar. Oh, come on, cooperate. December 12th is the next live podcast. Replays the next 2 weeks. Have a good Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Amsoil. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your Amsoil products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what Amsoil is and why you should consider using Amsoil products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. Amsoil is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses Amsoil for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that Amsoil is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because Amsoil doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And Amsoil likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of Amsoil is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction and drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, Amsoil says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the Amsoil bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the Amsoil. Amsoil's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero.
Wow.
If you ever tried petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So Amsoil's an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running Amsoil than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Amsoil is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear loop? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that Amsoil has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the Amsoil experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
Amsoil has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, Amsoil will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. Amsoil sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value. And this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering Amsoil. Is that correct?
It is.
Wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an Amsoil order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to a product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the signature series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an Amsoil account at this point, just click in the lower right to create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name, and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to Amsoil. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for Amsoil under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your Amsoil Preferred Customer Program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters free DVD requests, so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering Amsoil as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from Amsoil, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from Amsoil. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the Amsoil marketing plan. Amsoil has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing or hot rods, we have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure. So when you sign up under that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing Amsoil for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with Amsoil. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate Amsoil leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes. And just by wearing my Amsoil hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about Amsoil.
Wonderful.
People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product.
Perfect. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
Amsoil's a fun business. Amsoil's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the Amsoil products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the Amsoil products or to join the Amsoil team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.